right, here we go. Week 2. Everybody ready to roll? Hopefully your first week, the short week, wasn't too painful. I do appreciate the questions that have been coming to me specifically in emails and through the discussion board. Anything I can do to clarify, I really want to do for you. If you're thinking an assignment just isn't clicking, or you're wondering, this seems like a lot of work, or this seems very unclear, please send those messages my way. There's no sense in you spending hours and hours and hours on something that's really supposed to be a 15-minute project. And conversely, if there's something that is a little bit more intense, I'll try to kind of tell you about that in the video and let you know that. And also you'll notice by the points, if it's a 25-point assignment, obviously it's a slightly different requirement than a 100-point assignment. So here we go. What are we doing this week? 2 assignments again, and you have I have Labor Day written on this week. Obviously it's not Labor Day week, it's this weekend is Labor Day weekend. So next week you only have 1 assignment, and it's a shorter week. So this week you have 2 assignments. There are some articles in your course content underneath the course content folder for this section, and they are about online learning. And some of you, this is not your first experience, so you can be the wise expert on this and say, oh, these articles make sense, but not so much here. I don't see this, or you can say, yeah, these are what I really think. In fact, there are really 3 ways to respond to any piece of writing, and I'm going to argue that essentially anything that's written, anything that's spoken, and has the purpose of disseminating knowledge, excuse my phone ringing, it has an inherent argument. And even if it's not intentional, even my videos to you right now, you'll notice a stance, a truth I'm imparting, but it's all from my perspective. And so in some ways, even these videos are an argument of sorts. The fact that I create them and encourage you to watch them kind of argues the idea that sometimes we need auditory instruction and visual, and obviously that's a stance that I am taking. So that in mind, these articles that I am talking about in the classroom are definitely, there's a sense of argument in them. So back to my point, there are 3 ways to respond to argument. 1 is to agree. The second is to disagree. And the third, probably the most common, is to agree with exception or disagree with exception. In other words, you're not taking the middle road. You're not saying, well, you could look at this either way. In fact, please never say that in my class, because I want you to really throw your hat over the fence one direction or another, but you can hold on to the fence. You can say, okay, using my videos as an example, I agree that the videos are helpful, but she rambles on. Okay, so there's an agree with an exception. Or I disagree, these videos are not helpful. Maybe for some people they are, but not for me. That's a little bit of a fence argument, but you know what I'm saying with it. So agree, disagree, or somewhere in between. And those articles are posted in the classroom. You're probably going to have to copy and paste them. If there's if the links aren't working, you let me know. Like if once you copy and paste them into your browser URL, and that maybe the website doesn't exist anymore, sometimes that happens, absolutely let me know. That's assignment 2-1. Again, the errand text pieces are going to be more background on writing. If there's a concept that I want you to cover, it's in that, but those are to be skimmed. Do not go through that with a fine-tooth comb. Those are resource pages for you for this week. The final thing you're going to be completing is a thesis worksheet, and it is a template. It'll go step by step in creating a thesis. Do your very best. A lot of you are going to ask, what do I write about? This is a practice worksheet. This is not going to feed into your first paper. It's just a tool that I want you to practice using. I've had some students say they actually end up using it for every paper, or if they get stuck in trying to create their thesis for their papers, they will pull this worksheet out. So do keep track of where it's at. But you can use anything. If you want some ideas, you could use some of the topics from the reflection activity from last week. You could use the articles posted in the classroom. You can use some random topic that you know something about. Do not do research. This is a practice activity to help you conceptualize writing a thesis, only because I have lots and lots of feedback from every writing class I teach at every school I teach at that students will say consistently, the thesis statement is always a huge block for me. If you're a really great thesis writer, you're going to I still want you to use this tool just to show you kind of a building concept that I want for thesis statements, so you have a clear expectation, but it shouldn't it may not be as hard for you to flesh it out. If you're getting stuck, again, this is a 25-point assignment. This is not a paper, so please treat it as such, and don't worry so much about what topic you're writing on as much as the process. We're all about the process right now. 2 assignments this week is all you have, and the only one that you post to the discussion board is your discussion about the articles that you're going to find in the course content in the classroom. I hope you have a wonderful day and week, and if you have any questions at all, please send them my way. Some of you have mentioned that you look at all the things that are due and it's a little overwhelming. Take a deep breath. I think that once you get in the groove and get in the pattern and see how things are flowing, you'll feel confident. That's not to try to talk you into hanging in there if you just know at this point that this isn't for you. But I do want to encourage you, and if you are kind of teetering, give me a shout through email and we can talk about that. One last thing before we leave is some of you have looked ahead, and in week 4, assignment 2-4 is not working. And I've tried to reload it like I've done the rest of the class, and I think that maybe there is, sometimes you'll come across a page that just isn't working for whatever reason. So I might have to send you 2-4 as an email attachment. I'm going to play around with it a little bit more, but if you are working ahead and you look at assignment 2-4 and say there's nothing there, oh no, don't worry, we'll get it to you, okay? Thanks so much. Have a great week. Bye-bye.